All right, now, anybody that's here knows the rules. The robots do the painting, you do the guessing, and I will give you a few clues to help out a little. This one should be fun. This is the top 20 existential risks to humanity. Existential. Existential. Number 20. Beneath the Arctic and ocean floor lie vast frozen reserves. Warming temperatures could trigger their sudden release. This gas is far more potent than CO2 at trapping heat. A mass release could turbocharge climate change. It is nicknamed the Clathrate gun. Clathrate gun, or how fast it could fire. Yeah, there you go. There you go. You know these threats to humanity. Deep Earth methane release. Yeah, scary stuff. Scientists once found methane bubbling up through a Siberian lake, like champagne. Except no one is actually celebrating. Methane release. Sudden methane release. That is an existential threat. Look out. Look out. Well, it's only number 20 now. So, you know. Only number 20. Let's do number 19. This one seems less probable lately. I don't know why. Maybe. The global population did just pass 8 billion. More people means more pressure on food, water, and energy. Historically, overuse of resources has led to collapsed societies. So there's some historical precedents for this one. Modern supply chains make us even more vulnerable to this. Too many mouths, not enough planet. Well, this one, number 19, is the overpopulation or resource collapse. That's a possibility. Economist Kenneth Boulding once joked, anyone who believes exponential growth can go on forever is either a madman or an economist. Overpopulation is number 19. Yeah, they look hungry, I guess. I guess we shouldn't laugh at that. Good, number 18 on our existential threat list. So, this burning fields caldera bubbles under Naples, Italy. It's under Naples, Italy. Its last massive eruption happened about 39,000 years ago. That doesn't seem like that long ago. A blast would coat Europe in ash. Doesn't sound like a bad thing, really. The resulting climate shock could starve billions. Could starve billions. All right. It's a lesser known cousin of Yellowstone. A lesser known cousin. Modern Naples sits right on top of this ticking time bomb. Real estate agents probably don't even mention that. So I lived in southern Utah for a long time, and I guess most of southern Utah is actually a really ancient supervolcano. This one's still active though. Campi Flegrei, 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 Campi Flegrei, supervolcano. Okay, number 17. Here we go. Oh, this one's probable. I hate the probable one. Imagine an economy where most jobs vanish to automation. Add AI-driven misinformation destabilizing democracy. Oh, great. Trust in institutions erode, leaving chaos behind. Collapse might be slow, not a single doomsday event. Civilization unraveling from within. Some call this death by 1,000 tweets. I don't know. Is Vesuvius part of that supervolcano? Vesuvius is actually just a regular volcano, but under Naples is a super volcano. Hey, the People's Library with some information for us there. That's a lot to read, man. Yeah. Well, so this item, number 17, is the AI-induced societal collapse. AI-induced societal collapse, which could be bad, right? Imperialist. I haven't been called an imperialist in a while. Number 16, on the existential risks. We've seen crashes before. 1929, 2008. Ring a bell? Imagine one hitting every nation at once. Banks fail, trade freezes, and supply chains shatter. Panic leads to riots and famine. The world economy never recovers. Historians note the fall of the Roman Empire included runaway inflation. A reminder that money troubles are an old story. So, an existential threat is a possibility of a global economic collapse. Global economic collapse. So you're starting to get the feel of these things, right? These are the 20 things we should worry about. And number 16 is a global economic collapse. Let's move on to number 15. This one's cheery. This one's the kind of one where you know, not much you can do about it. Not much you can do. The universe occasionally fires off these deadly beams. That doesn't sound good to start. They're often born from collapsing stars. If one actually hit Earth, our ozone would vanish, and radiation would sterilize the Earth's surface. There'd be no warning. There is no defense. It is just cosmic bad luck. Astronomers think a gamma ray burst may have caused a mass extinction 450 million years ago. So they think this might have happened. Right. Sounds like we're overdue. This one doesn't sound like there's much you can do about it. I mean, I guess that's why these guys are building these underground things, right? Cosmic gamma ray burst. Cosmic gamma ray burst. Yeah, there it is. Burst. That's trouble. You see that in the sky. If you see that in the sky, you see that? Run. Run. All right, number 14 on our existential threat list. Like we haven't had enough bad ones. How about this one? SETI listens for signals, but what if something replies? They think this one comet that's out there right now, right? They think that might be a spaceship. Have you heard that? What is it called? 3DI or 3ID or something? Something like that. A powerful civilization might not see us as equals. Yeah, it could be great. Could be anything. Could be robots. Could be robots. Even well-meaning contact could spread alien microbes. Worst case, extinction by indifference. Yeah, they might not just care much about us. We're like a little mole on the Earth's surface. Science fiction has warned us for decades about this. Stephen Hawking once cautioned against shouting into the cosmos. Basically saying, don't text strangers you can't block. Alien invasion. Alien invasion is a definite existential threat. There you go. It's number 14, so it's not real high on the list, but there's higher ones. I love this one. This is a human-induced one here. In 2008, the world's largest particle collider switched on. Yes, it did. Some feared it might create a black hole. Yeah, do you remember that? Everybody's worried, like when they turn on the particle collider. Or that strange matter that eats everything could evolve. Scientists insist, though, that it's safe. And it seems like it's safe so far. The real risk is more Hollywood than physics. A Swiss newspaper once headlined, "Is this the end of the world?" Turns out it wasn't, but the Large Hadron Collider with the particle experiment. There could be like a particle experiment accident. Even a miniature black hole will be dangerous, right? Is that what it is? Lucerne? It's in Switzerland, right? Or is it on the border? Can't remember. Something like that. They were going to build it in Texas. How come they didn't build it in Texas? What happened? Don't know. All right, top 12. Here we go. Number 12. This one certainly seems likely. Viruses can be engineered now as easily as software. A mistake in a lab could unleash something unstoppable. Or a weaponized strain could be released intentionally. Possibly, maybe, sort of. Post-COVID, many see this as the scariest risk. The robots only got number 12, though, but, the robots are on the list, too. Billions could die in a matter of months. Great. Yeah, exactly. During the Cold War, the USSR allegedly stockpiled enough anthrax to kill every human alive. Did you know that? Russia had enough anthrax to kill everybody. I don't know what they did with it. Anyway, biotechnology pandemic, or like a lab leak or a bioweapon. Lots of possibilities. Bummer. That is a definite existential threat to humanity. Existential. There you go. Number 11. This is a risk. Excuse me. Sorry about that. We're back. So bees vanish, coral reefs bleach, rainforests burn. We lose enough species and for the ecosystem to stop working. If there's no pollinators, there's no crops. I have experienced that in my own garden. You ever have trouble with your cucumbers not getting pollinated very efficiently? Yeah, a lot of early season trouble, let me tell you. No fish means empty oceans. Not good. Collapse spirals into famine and war. Scientists say Earth is already in its sixth mass extinction. Yeah, so what the robots are calling this one is ecological collapse. Mass extinction of biodiversity. So once you get, enough species dying, the whole system collapses. Could happen. There's a lot of threats. The idea isn't to lose sleep tonight, but, we'll see what happens. We're only down to the top 10 now. It seems like those 10 have been bad enough. Now we're going to have the top 10 risks. This is a possibility. In 1859, something called the Carrington event fried all the telegraphs. A modern repeat would take out satellites and the power grid. Can you imagine without the power grid for a while? Yeah, it's tough. Internet, GPS, power. I still had internet the whole time I was out of power from the hurricane. We had hurricane issues last year, and Hurricane Helene made a little visit. And we didn't have power for a few days, but I still had internet with the generator. Recovery could take years. Imagine civilization reset by the sun itself. In 2012, a near-miss solar storm swept past Earth. A cosmic bullet dodged. So yeah, you got it. Solar super flare. Not just solar flare. Solar super flare. And I'll tell you what, that picture looks like a super flare. Yeah, that sounds like trouble. And it's, highly possible. Highly possible. Not good. All right, now kind of related to a previous one, but this one's more specific. So farming is now a global web. If you disrupt one link and shortages ripple worldwide. Climate disasters and wars make this possibility worse. Billions depend on just a few staple crops. Failure of those crops equals famine and, of course, war. The Irish potato famine wiped out a quarter of Ireland's population. Did you know that? And that was just one crop in one country. So yeah, famine, that's global food system collapse. Global food system collapse. So like a supervolcano could cause that. A disease? An engineered bioweapon, perhaps? Lots of things could cause a global food system collapse. And that's a definite threat to humanity for sure. Yeah. And, you wouldn't get any good wine from Napa. Like this, the picture looks like it's a winery. A vineyard. All right, now this one's interesting. I didn't know this one. Here you go. This is a new one. Oxygen in oceans keeps marine life alive. Well, I guess I knew that. But if you lose it, and ecosystems suffocate. Ancient extinctions were triggered this way. Uh-oh. Hydrogen sulfide gas could poison the air. The seas turn toxic. The land follows the sea. Geologists call past anoxic. Am I saying that right? Anoxic oceans. That's what it is. Anoxic oceans. Canfield oceans. Sounds like a metal band. But it does sound like a metal band. Anoxic oceans. Yeah, deoxification of the ocean. Oxygen depletion. Ocean anoxia. There it is. Ocean anoxia. Sounds bad. And I guess it led to previous extinctions. Well, that's not good. Although I hate that one that's maybe a cosmic gamma ray. That just sounds rough. All right. I guess they're all rough. Number seven. Here we go. This one's starting to seem more and more sketchy. My good buddy Palmer Luckey. You know Palmer Luckey? Imagine killer drones making their own decisions. No human in the loop. Cheap, scalable, and impossible to stop once unleashed. This could trigger global wars or targeted genocide. Yeah, you can imagine targeted genocide. Wow. Hang on to that AI in general, because I think that's still down the list. This is a specific form of AI. This is AI-controlled autonomous weapons. You know who Palmer Luckey is? He's the guy that invented the Oculus, the VR, and sold it to Facebook, and then they fired him, and then he started a weapons company. He sells a lot of stuff to the U.S. government nowadays. A lot of AI autonomous weapons. Critics call them slaughterbots. Just slaughterbots. I've never heard that term. It's great. Slaughterbots. All right, now this one's weird. I think there was a Michael Crichton book about this. Tiny machines the size of molecules. They're designed to build or dismantle anything. They can self-assemble and stuff. If self-replicating, they could multiply unchecked. This sounds sketchy. In theory, they'd eat the biosphere. Earth dissolves into gray sludge. Yeah, nanobot. Nanotechnology, gray goo scenario. The gray goo scenario. Wasn't there was a Michael Crichton book about that, wasn't it? I think so. Forget what it was. Prey. It's called Prey, I think. Check me on that. Jamie, check me on that. You look that up, Jamie? I need a Jamie. I think I'm going to train my AI to be Jamie. Yep. Eric Drexler, who popularized nanotech, admits gray goo is unlikely. That's good. Glad to hear it. Do you trust him? No. All right. So, number 5. If there's any woke folks in the audience, you'll like this one. I guess it's not woke, folks. Melting ice raises seas, but that's just the start. Tipping points lock in higher warming. Droughts, wildfires, and floods reshape the entire planet. Croplands vanish, cities sink. Civilization collapses in slow motion. Yeah, a certain type of climate change, Doctor. A certain type of climate change. We're going to have the rapture as number one, since we're the only two people left on the planet, Doctor. Rapture needs to be on the list. All those poor people. Or I guess they're the good people. We're the ones left to deal with these disasters. Runaway climate change is of course the correct answer. The boiling frog scenario. We are the boiling frog. I like boiling frog better than runaway climate change. Yeah, boiling frog scenario. There you go. All right, top four. Here we go. Yeah, we're the ones left to deal with stuff. We'll see how it goes. All right, stick together. So 66 million years ago, dinosaurs met this fate. Big enough, and the skies rained fire. Dust clouds block sunlight for years. Crops die. Ecosystems crash. Humanity joins the dinosaurs. Yeah, this is an existential threat. Definitely. An asteroid or comet impact. Yeah, comet strike. Whoa. NASA recently tested planetary defense by slamming a spaceship into an asteroid. The good news is it kind of worked, but it was only a small asteroid. So if it's a small enough asteroid, slamming a spaceship into it might work. There you go. As long as you don't break it into a million pieces, right? Isn't that what happened in the movie? The Deep Impact movie? They broke it into a bunch of pieces. Yeah, that didn't go well. All right, so now we've seen one supervolcano, but this is the granddaddy. Beneath Wyoming lies a magnet chamber the size of a continent. Great. This last erupted 640,000 years ago. A full blast would blanket North America in ash. Global climate would collapse. Agriculture would end. I don't know. I mean, we can still grow in greenhouses with grow lights. Yeah, if you could get the power going, I guess. Billions starve. There you go. That sounds like a problem. Tourists still pose for selfies at Yellowstone's hot springs, literally standing directly on top of the threat. Yeah, supervolcano eruption at the Yellowstone caldera. There it is. Look at it go. It's starting. Holy smoke. Can you imagine, like, climbing over a ridge and seeing that? Could you imagine? No. Hard to imagine. We just did, though. Thanks to Grok AI. Thank you, Grok. All right, top two threats to humanity. And I think this is probably number one. And I think the robots were playing a little game by not making this one number one. Imagine a mind millions of times smarter than ours. Once built, it could rewrite its own code. Humans might lose control in days. Whether it ignores us or eliminates us is unknown. Ignores us or eliminates us? It has two choices. Some call this the last invention humanity ever makes. Yeah. Yes. The AGI singularity. Global Artificial Intelligence Takeover. It sounds pretty likely. You think this is the number one? It's number 2 on the list. And the number 1 kind of makes sense too. The first superintelligence will be the last invention humanity needs, provided we survive it. So, there's a good scenario and there's a bad scenario. All right, number 1, threat to humanity. Thousands of nuclear warheads remain on high alert worldwide. A large-scale exchange would kill billions instantly. Smoke and ash would block sunlight for years. Agriculture fails, famine follows, civilization ends in ice and fire. Yes, nukes. Global thermonuclear war plus nuclear winter. It's a double whammy. The war itself and the nuclear winter. During the Cold War, a Soviet officer named Stanislav Petrov once refused to launch after a false alarm, possibly saving the world. So have you guys heard that story? So it was kind of during the Cuban Missile Crisis, and there was one of their, I think, submarines got a false alarm that it was supposed to launch, and somehow the officer refused to launch, and possibly saved the world. There you go. There you go. Well, so that was kind of a cheery end to the evening. Existential threats. Good job. Good job, Doctor. Yeah, Red October, exactly.